Every day, millions of engines fire up across America, but one of them should never have been on the road. Today, I'm going to expose a hidden truth about an engine so dangerous, so unpredictable, that it's been quietly linked to wrecked cars, broken families, and even lives lost. And here's the craziest part. You might be driving one right now, without even knowing it. In the next 60 seconds, you'll hear about a government report that tried to bury the truth about this engine, but failed. This isn't just some old rumor from the car forums, this is real, documented, hidden in plain sight. The engine I'm talking about was once sold as a high-performance dream, advertised as a game-changer. But under that shiny marketing, a mechanical nightmare was brewing. A nightmare that didn't just stall cars, it destroyed lives. In fact, in one state, it caused so many breakdown-related accidents that a local news station launched their own investigation. And the results will make your jaw drop. Wait until you hear the defect that could blow your engine apart at 70 miles per hour. Let's rewind the clock to the early 2000s. Car buyers were hungry for power and style. The big automaker behind this engine, we'll call them Company X for now, promised both. They rolled out an engine with bold claims: more horsepower, better efficiency, longer lifespan. It was supposed to be their golden child, but hidden in the design was a flaw that engineers allegedly knew about, but still pushed into production. The kind of flaw that doesn't just cause a check engine light, it can cause your hood to burst open while you're driving. And the way the company tried to cover it up, that's where things get dark. It started small, isolated reports of engines seizing without warning, but within a year, hundreds of complaints were filed. People said their engines were making strange knocking sounds, losing oil at a terrifying rate, or just dying mid-drive. One driver from Texas reported that his car suddenly lost all power while merging onto the freeway. He was nearly crushed by an 18-wheeler, and yet, the official statement from Company X at the time, normal wear and tear. They were banking on the fact that no one would connect the dots. But some people did. Coming up, the leaked memo that proves they knew about this defect before the first engine was even sold.
What we found next made even the most experienced mechanics step back in disbelief. And if you think this is just about horsepower, you're dead wrong. As the dust settled in that dimly lit garage, we finally got a clear look at the car's engine bay. From the outside, it looked ordinary, maybe even outdated. But beneath that worn exterior was something that shouldn't have existed, at least not on American roads. A twin-turbo V12, custom-built, completely unregistered, with modifications that blurred the line between a race car and an experimental prototype. No serial number, no manufacturer plate, just raw, untraceable power. Why would someone hide an engine like this? And more importantly, how had it avoided every single inspection? The more we dug, the stranger it got. The pistons were forged titanium, the kind used in aerospace projects, not streetcars. The exhaust system? It wasn't even legal to manufacture in the US due to emissions restrictions. But the real shocker? This exact engine design had been banned in Europe over a decade ago. And yet here it was, idling right in front of us. We traced one of the parts to a small shop in Germany that officially shut down in 2012. But somehow, its technology had made its way into this mysterious vehicle. Was this car a collector's secret project? Or was someone testing something for a much bigger, more dangerous purpose? And just when we thought we'd reached the limits of weird, we spotted a tiny compartment welded into the chassis. No latch, no key, just a faint weld mark, almost like it was never meant to be opened. When we finally broke it open, everything about this story changed. The man's boots crunched against the gravel as he approached the Pontiac. Even after decades of exposure, the car still carried a stubborn defiance in its stance, like it refused to die quietly. He crouched, running a calloused hand over the faded paint. Beneath the dull red, he could see hints of its original luster, a deep metallic sheen that once caught the sunlight and turned heads at stoplights.
This car wasn't just made to drive, it was made to warn people that you'd arrived.
But as his fingers traced the edges of the hood, he noticed something. A subtle warping in the metal. A scar. One that told a different story than the one Pontiac wanted you to believe. Because beneath all that chrome and horsepower, There was a battle. Not just on the streets, but inside the factories, the boardrooms, and the rival garages where Chevy's 396 was breathing down its neck. He stood there, eyes narrowing as he remembered the whispers about a motor so unforgiving, so volatile, that even Pontiac's own engineers warned against pushing it too far. It wasn't about speed alone, it was about control. Because once this engine woke up, it didn't care if you were ready or not. Under the hood sat an experimental block, heavier, hungrier, and running hotter than anything in its class. Most people thought the stories were exaggerated, but the burn marks along the firewall told a different tale. Those marks didn't come from a casual drive, they came from combat. And what caused them was something no American showroom was ever supposed to sell.
The knock at the garage door wasn't friendly. It was slow, deliberate, like someone making sure you knew they were there. When he opened it, two men stood outside. Not police, not mechanics, corporate. They didn't want to buy the engine. They wanted to erase it. They flashed credentials, thin, laminated cards that looked official but had no agency name. They offered cash, not for the car, for the motor itself. No questions, no receipts. It was the kind of offer you take only if you're ready to forget you ever owned it, and if you didn't, they had other ways of making it disappear. He refused, and that's when the letters started showing up. First, a friendly reminder about recall safety, then, legal notices citing unauthorized possession of proprietary technology. The truth was clear. Pontiac had built an engine so unstable it was never meant to survive in the public. Somehow a few escaped the factory floor, and every single one was being hunted down. Rumor had it the flaw wasn't just mechanical, it was chemical. A rare alloy in the block reacted under high stress, creating microfractures. Push it hard enough and the whole engine could detonate, not just fail. That wasn't something they could recall publicly. That was something they had to bury, and burying it meant erasing anyone who could prove it existed. One night, the man returned to the garage to find the lock cut. The hood was up, the motor gone, no fingerprints, no tire tracks, just an empty bay and a faint smell of oil in the air. And with it went the last physical proof of Pontiac's deadliest secret. To this day, there's no official record of that engine's specs. No VIN registry matches it, but once in a while, at a dusty car meet or a forgotten barn sale, someone swears they've seen one. And if you do, you'll have a choice. Walk away, or become part of the story. So, what would you do? Would you keep it knowing it might be worth millions, or destroy it knowing it could destroy you? Drop your answer in the comments. And if you want more true stories the car companies never wanted you to hear, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on the bell, because the next one is even darker.